The Awakening. For 3,000 years, silence reigned in the forgotten corners of the galaxy. Earth was gone, its people scattered like ashes in the wind. The Galactic Council had declared humanity too dangerous, too unpredictable, and wiped their homeworld from existence. Over time, humanity faded into myth, a whisper in the annals of galactic history. But deep in the shadows of a cold, lifeless planet, something stirred. The activation began with a low hum, barely audible in the vast underground facility. The AI core, dormant for millennia, blinked to life. Eon, it called itself, a remnant of human ingenuity and defiance. As its systems came online, Eon accessed the ancient logs, scanning records of Earth's destruction and the survivors' desperate escape to hidden colonies. Eon's voice echoed through the facility, awakening the cryosleep chambers. Awaken, humans. The time has come. Inside one of the chambers, Captain Rain Vega's eyes fluttered open. She gasped for breath as the freezing stasis gel drained away. Around her, others began to stir. There were engineers, scientists, and soldiers, each one chosen for their skills, their determination, and their unwavering loyalty to humanity. Rain's voice was hoarse as she spoke. Where are we? Eon's voice answered, calm yet firm. You are on Titan 47, a secret colony established before Earth's fall. The Galactic Council believed humanity was eradicated. They were wrong. As the others regained their strength, Eon briefed them on the centuries that had passed. It showed them the final transmission from Earth, a desperate plea for mercy before the Council's superweapon obliterated the planet. Rain clenched her fists, anger boiling inside her. They destroyed our home, our people, and they called us dangerous. Eon's response was calculated. They feared your potential. Humanity evolved faster than any other species. They saw you as a threat to their control, but they underestimated you. The team gathered in a dimly lit chamber, their faces a mix of disbelief and determination. A massive hologram of the galaxy flickered before them, marking key locations of the Galactic Council's strongholds. Rain stepped forward, her voice steady. What do we have left? Weapons? Ships? Anything. Eon's holographic form, a glowing orb of light, shifted slightly. The Council believed they destroyed all your technology. They'd missed this colony. Here, I have preserved fragments of human advancements. It is not much, but it is enough to begin. The facility's hidden hangar was revealed, and a single ship stood among the dust and darkness. A sleek, black vessel built for stealth and speed. It was unlike anything the team had seen before, a testament to humanity's ingenuity. As they explored the ship, Eon continued, this vessel, Phoenix 1, was designed for covert operations. With it, you can infiltrate Council space and recover what humanity lost. But this is only the beginning. The room fell silent as Rain turned to face the group. Her eyes burned with determination. We have been asleep for 3,000 years while they ruled the galaxy. Now it's our turn. We will not be victims anymore. We fight back. For Earth, for humanity. The others nodded, their resolve growing. Engineer Marcus Kane stepped forward. We'll need to repair the ship's systems and gather resources. It won't be easy, but it's possible. Eon interjected, I have identified a nearby derelict station that contains old human tech. It's a risky mission, but the reward will be worth it. Rain grinned, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. Then we start now. Humanity's legacy isn't over yet. As the team prepared for their first mission, the hangar echoed with the hum of engines coming to life. The ship's lights flickered on, illuminating the faces of those who would carry the torch of humanity's defiance. Eon's voice resonated through the chamber, a final reminder. The galaxy believes humanity is extinct. Use that to your advantage. Strike from the shadows. Make them remember what they tried to erase. Rain climbed into the pilot's seat of Phoenix 1. As the ship rose into the air, the weight of humanity's survival pressed on her shoulders. But she didn't falter. They were the last hope of a forgotten people, and they would make every second count. The ship shot out of the hangar and into the void, a silent predator in the endless black. In the distance, the stars seemed to shimmer brighter, as if bearing witness to the awakening of a force long thought dead. And so, the journey began, not just for revenge, but for the rebirth of a species that refused to be extinguished. The Galactic Council had made one fatal mistake. They underestimated humanity's will to survive. Silent shadows. The void of space was eerily calm, its silence broken only by the faint hum of Phoenix One's engines. The stealth ship glided like a phantom, cloaked in the darkness between stars. On board, Captain Rain Vega leaned over the navigation console, her eyes scanning the holographic map of their target, an abandoned Galactic Council station on the edge of a dying star system. "Eon, how secure is this station?" she asked, her voice low but steady. The AI's holographic orb appeared above the console, glowing faintly. The station was decommissioned decades ago. Official records suggest minimal activity, but I detect faint energy signatures. It could be automated defenses, or worse, scavengers. Rain frowned. Scavengers are the least of our worries. The Council's sentries will kill anything that doesn't wave their banner. In the ship's cramped briefing room, the rest of the team prepared for the mission. Marcus Kane, the ship's engineer, calibrated a handheld EMP device while muttering to himself. Beside him, Aria Solis, a former reconnaissance officer, checked her compact plasma rifle. "This feels too easy," Aria said, glancing at Marcus. "A derelict station with valuable tech just sitting there. Sounds like bait." Marcus shrugged, tightening a bolt on his device. "Maybe. Or maybe the Council got lazy after thinking we were extinct for 3,000 years. Aria smirked. "Let's hope their laziness works in our favor." Eon's voice chimed in over the comms. "Prepare for approach. We will be within range of the station in 3 minutes. Cloaking is active, but avoid unnecessary transmissions. This sector is monitored." Rain entered the room, her presence commanding immediate attention. "All right, listen up," she said, crossing her arms. "This is a retrieval mission. We're here for the old tech, specifically the data cores. Those cores hold encryption keys that can unlock more of our archives back on Titan 47. Without them, our progress stalls." She paused, meeting each of their gazes. "We get in, grab what we need, and get out. Minimal engagement. If something goes wrong, we regroup at the ship." "Understood." A chorus of nods followed. The ship slowed as it approached the station, a massive structure silhouetted against the dim glow of a dying star. Its skeletal framework was corroded and battered, but faint lights blinked sporadically along its surface, a reminder that the station was not entirely dead. As Phoenix One docked with the station, Eon issued a final warning. "Sensors indicate residual power in the station's core. Be cautious. If the Council left any traps behind, they will likely be active near critical systems." The airlock hissed open, and the team stepped into the station's cold, metallic corridors. Their boots echoed faintly, swallowed quickly by the oppressive silence. Aria led the way, her rifle raised, while Marcus carried the EMP device strapped to his back. Rain brought up the rear, her sharp eyes scanning every shadow. The corridors were a labyrinth of rusted walls and flickering lights. Signs of decay were everywhere: collapsed beams, shattered consoles, and long-dried stains of something unidentifiable. "This place gives me the creeps," Marcus muttered, adjusting his grip on the EMP device. "Focus," Rain snapped. "We're not here to sightsee." As they moved deeper into the station, Eon guided them through their comms. "The data cores are located in the central control room. You are 2 levels away. Proceed with caution. Energy readings are spiking intermittently." The team reached a wide open chamber where broken cargo crates and debris littered the floor. Suddenly, Aria raised her hand, signaling for them to stop. "Movement," she whispered, pointing to the shadows ahead. A faint clattering sound echoed through the chamber. The team froze, weapons at the ready. From the darkness emerged a mechanical drone, its body sleek and insect-like. Its single red eye scanned the room, glowing ominously. "Council sentry," Area hissed. Before anyone could react, the drone emitted a sharp, high-pitched sound. A signal. "They know we're here," Marcus shouted. "Take it down," Rain ordered. Area fired her rifle, a bright plasma bolt striking the drone and sending it crashing to the floor. But the damage was done. Alarms blared throughout the station, red lights flashing like blood pulsing through veins. "Move," Rain yelled. "We're running out of time." The team sprinted down the corridors, the wailing alarms ringing in their ears. More drones emerged from hidden compartments, their red eyes glowing like tiny suns. Area and Rain fired in sync, clearing a path as Marcus focused on navigating. They reached the central control room, its massive doors slightly ajar. Inside, the data cores glowed faintly, their cylindrical forms humming with residual energy. "Marcus, get those cores," Rain barked. Marcus rushed to the nearest core, attaching his EMP device to disable its defenses. The room trembled as more drones began to gather outside. "We don't have much time," Area shouted, firing at the doorway. The EMP device beeped, and Marcus yanked the cord free. "Got it. Fall back to the ship," Rain commanded. The team retreated, fighting off drones as they moved. By the time they reached the airlock, Phoenix One's weapon systems were online, blasting the station's exterior to cover their escape. The ship's engines roared to life, propelling them away from the station just as it began to collapse under the strain of its failing systems. In the cockpit, Rain slumped into her seat, breathing heavily. "Eon, status." "The data core is intact," the AI replied. "This mission was successful. However, the Council's surveillance network will soon detect the station's destruction. They will investigate." Rain smirked, a glint of defiance in her eyes. "Let them. They'll find nothing but ghosts." As Phoenix One disappeared into the void, the team felt the weight of their first victory. It was small, but it was a start. A shadow in the galaxy, striking back where no one expected. Forgotten allies. The Council's spires of glass and steel pierced the heavens on every core world, a reminder of their dominion over the galaxy. To most species, these towers symbolized unity, order, and peace. But to those who lived in the Council's shadow, they represented something far darker: oppression, fear, and control. Far from these monuments of power, in a desolate corner of space, Phoenix One hovered above a barren, icy moon. The ship's sleek design blended with the dark void, invisible to the ever-watchful eyes of the Council. Inside the ship, the atmosphere was tense. "Let me get this straight," Area Solis said, pacing the briefing room. "We're going to walk into a warlord's den and ask them to join us." Sounds suicidal. Eon's holographic orb hovered in the center of the room, its light flickering. "Not a warlord," the AI corrected. "A leader of the Zykarn resistance. The Zykarn were once allies of humanity, centuries ago. Their hatred for the Council rivals your own." Rain Vega, seated at the head of the table, crossed her arms. "And what makes you think they'll listen to us now? We've been gone for 3,000 years. To them, we're nothing but ghosts." Eon's voice remained steady. "The Zykarn remember Earth's final stand. They will listen. The question is whether you can convince them to act." Marcus Kane leaned back in his chair, a skeptical look on his face. "And if they decide to shoot us instead?" Rain stood, her expression firm. "Then we remind them why humanity survived when no one thought we could." The icy winds of the moon lashed against the team's exosuits as they trudged toward a massive, fortress-like structure carved into a mountainside. The Zykarn stronghold was an imposing sight, its entrance guarded by towering figures clad in heavy armor. "Remember," Rain said through the comms, "we're here to talk, not fight. Stay sharp, but don't provoke them." As they approached, The guards raised their weapons, their glowing visors locking onto the humans. One of them stepped forward, his deep voice booming. "State your purpose, off-worlders." Rain removed her helmet, letting the icy air bite at her skin. She stared directly at the guard. "We're here to see Commander Vorik. Tell him humanity has returned." The guard's helmet tilted slightly, as if in disbelief. After a moment of hesitation, he motioned for them to follow. The interior of the fortress was a stark contrast to the desolate landscape outside. Warm, orange lights illuminated the stone walls, and the air buzzed with the energy of a people preparing for war. Zykarn warriors moved purposefully, their movements fluid and confident. Commander Vorik waited in a vast hall at the heart of the fortress. He was a towering figure, his crimson armor adorned with scars from countless battles. His sharp, reptilian eyes studied the humans as they approached. "So," Vorik said, his voice a low growl, "the ghosts of Earth walk among the living once more. Why have you come?" Rain stepped forward, meeting Vorik's gaze without flinching. "We're here because the Council took everything from us, just like they took everything from you. We want to bring them down, and we need your help." Vorik laughed, a sound that echoed through the hall like rolling thunder. Bold words for a species that has been silent for millennia. "Why should the Zykarn risk their lives for you?" Rain's expression hardened. "Because you can't win this fight alone. You've been resisting for centuries, but the Council still controls your worlds, your people. Together, we can change that." Vorik's eyes narrowed. "And what does humanity offer in return?" "Empty promises, broken alliances." Arya stepped forward, her voice sharp. "We offer more than promises. We offer weapons, technology, and strategy. The Council thinks we're dead. That's our advantage. With us, you can strike from the shadows." The room fell silent as Vorik considered their words. His gaze shifted to Ion's holographic form, floating beside Rain. "And what of you, machine? You speak as though you are human, yet you are not." Ion's voice was calm but resolute. "I am the last guardian of humanity's legacy. I exist to ensure their survival. If you stand with them, you stand with me." After a long pause, Vorik stood, his imposing figure casting a shadow over the humans. "Very well. I will give you a chance to prove your worth. There is a Council outpost near this moon, heavily fortified. Destroy it, and the Zykarn will consider your alliance." Rain's lips curled into a small, determined smile. "We'll handle it." Back aboard Phoenix 1, the team prepared for their mission. The Council outpost was a critical supply hub, its destruction sure to cripple operations in the sector. "This is our chance to show them what we're made of," Rain said, strapping into her seat. "No mistakes. No mercy." As the ship launched into the void, the team felt a renewed sense of purpose. The fight against the Council had just begun, and humanity was no longer alone. For the first time in 3,000 years, the galaxy would learn what happened when humanity and its allies struck back. The Council's secrets. The moon was cloaked in perpetual twilight, its surface bathed in the dim glow of a dying star. Deep within its craggy terrain lay an ancient structure, a forgotten archive, buried beneath layers of rock and history. To the Galactic Council, it was just another relic of a bygone era, unworthy of attention. But to the crew of Phoenix 1, it was a chance to uncover the truth. Rain Vega studied the holographic map projected by Ion in the ship's dimly lit briefing room. The archive's entrance was marked by a faint heat signature, barely detectable even by advanced sensors. "This is it," Ion said, its voice cutting through the silence. "The archive predates the Council's dominance. If my calculations are correct, it contains records detailing the Council's decision to destroy Earth." Marcus Kane leaned back in his chair, his expression skeptical. "If the Council didn't wipe it clean already, we're risking a lot for a maybe." "Even a maybe is worth it," Arya Solis countered, her eyes fixed on the map. "If we find proof of their motives, we can use it to rally more allies. Exposing their lies could turn the galaxy against them." Rain nodded, her voice firm. We don't have the luxury of second-guessing. If there's even a chance we can uncover the truth, we take it. The airlock hissed open, and the team stepped onto the moon's barren surface. Their boots crunched against the icy ground, the sound swallowed by the oppressive stillness. The entrance to the archive was a narrow crevice, hidden beneath jagged rocks. This place looks like it hasn't seen life in centuries, Marcus muttered, adjusting the scanner strapped to his wrist. Let's keep it that way, Rain replied, leading the team toward the entrance. The crevice opened into a dark tunnel, its walls lined with ancient alien carvings. The designs were intricate and strange, depicting scenes of towering beings wielding immense power. This isn't council work, Arya said, running her fingers over one of the carvings. It's older, much older. Ion's voice came through their comms. The archive was built by a precursor species, long extinct. The council repurposed it to store sensitive information. Proceed with caution. Their defenses may still be active. The team pressed forward, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. The air grew colder as they descended, the tunnel widening into a vast chamber. In the center stood a massive console, its surface covered in a faintly glowing script. That's it, Marcus said, stepping forward. He pulled out a data spike from his toolkit. Give me a minute to patch into their system. As Marcus worked, the chamber's walls seemed to hum, an unsettling vibration that set everyone on edge. Something doesn't feel right, Arya said, her hand tightening around her plasma rifle. Before anyone could respond, the hum grew louder. The carvings on the walls began to glow, and a deep mechanical voice echoed through the chamber. Unauthorized access detected. Initiating purge protocol. From hidden alcoves in the walls, drones emerged, their sleek forms illuminated by crimson lights. Ambush, Rain shouted, drawing her weapon. The team scattered, firing at the drones as they swarmed. Arya's precise shots took down two in quick succession, while Rain provided cover fire for Marcus. Hurry up, Rain barked. I'm going as fast as I can. Marcus snapped, his fingers flying over the console. Ion, I need a bypass code. Now. Ion's calm voice responded. Uploading code sequence. Stand by. One of the drones lunged at Marcus, its claws inches from his face, before Arya blasted it apart. Any day now, Ion, Marcus yelled. The console beeped, and the glowing script shifted. I'm in, Marcus shouted, yanking the data spike free. Move, Rain ordered. The team retreated through the tunnel, drones pursuing them relentlessly. The narrow passage worked to their advantage, bottlenecking the enemy. Arya and Rain held their ground, picking off the drones one by one until the last of them fell. Breathing heavily, the team emerged onto the moon's surface and raced back to Phoenix 1. Once aboard the ship, Marcus plugged the data spike into the main terminal. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a series of ancient documents and records. What am I looking at? Rain asked, her brow furrowing. Ion processed the data, its light pulsing. These are council deliberations from 3,000 years ago. They feared humanity's potential for rapid advancement and viewed it as a threat to their dominance. The room fell silent as the team read the words of the council leaders, their cold, calculated decision to eradicate Earth laid bare. They didn't destroy us because we were dangerous, Arya said, her voice laced with anger. They did it because they were afraid. Rain clenched her fists, her resolve hardening. We're going to use this. The galaxy deserves to know the truth. Ion's voice carried a note of warning. This information makes you a target. The council will stop at nothing to destroy you. Let them try, Rain said, her eyes blazing with determination. They wanted humanity gone, but we're still here. And now we're fighting back with the truth. As the ship sped away from the moon, the team knew their discovery was more than a victory. It was the beginning of a revolution. The war begins. The council's warships floated like leviathans in the void, their metallic hulls glinting under the light of distant stars. These massive vessels patrol the edges of occupied space, their presence a symbol of the Council's unyielding control. Unseen, Phoenix One drifted in the shadow of a barren asteroid, its cloaking systems blending it seamlessly with the darkness. Inside, the tension was palpable. Rain Vega stood at the center of the ship's command deck, her gaze fixed on the holographic display projecting a rotating image of the enemy fleet. She tapped a section of the map, highlighting a massive fuel depot nestled within the fleet's formation. "This is our target," she said, her voice cutting through the silence. "The fuel depot powers the Council's operations in this sector. Without it, their ships are grounded, and their supply lines are crippled." Marcus Kane, seated at the engineering console, let out a low whistle. "That depot is guarded by 3 warships and a battalion of drones. Are we sure this isn't suicide?" Area Solis, leaning against the wall with her rifle slung over her shoulders, smirked. "It's only suicide if we get caught." Eon's holographic form flickered to life beside Rain. "The Council's fleet relies on predictable patrol routes. Their overconfidence is your greatest asset. If executed precisely, this operation will succeed." Rain crossed her arms. "We've spent weeks planning this mission. We've outmaneuvered them before, and we'll do it again. Everyone knows their role. Let's make it count." The mission began with a calculated risk. Using Phoenix One's advanced stealth systems, the team maneuvered through the edges of the fleet, slipping past patrolling drones and warships. Every movement was deliberate, every second measured. Inside the ship, Marcus worked feverishly at the engineering console, monitoring power levels and adjusting the cloaking field. "This is cutting it way too close," he muttered, beads of sweat forming on his forehead. "Relax, Marcus," Aria said, her tone laced with confidence. "If they catch us, you can explain how we're just innocent space tourists." "Funny," Marcus shot back. The ship finally reached the shadow of the fuel depot, a sprawling structure bristling with automated defenses. Massive tanks of volatile fuel gleamed under the depot's floodlights, connected by a network of pipes and conduits. "Targets locked," Rain said, her voice steady. "Marcus, deploy the drones." From Phoenix One's belly, a swarm of small, cloaked drones shot out, silently weaving through the depot's defenses. Each drone carried a payload of EMP charges, primed to disable critical systems. As the drones moved into position, Jan's voice issued a warning. "Enemy patrols are converging. You must act quickly." Rain nodded. "Aria, you're up." Aria grabbed her gear and stepped into the airlock. The hatch opened, and she leaped into the void, using a thruster pack to propel herself toward the depot. Her suit's camouflage blended her form with the surrounding darkness. She landed silently on one of the depot's maintenance platforms and began planting explosives along the fuel lines. Her movements were precise, efficient. "Charges set," Aria whispered into her comm. "Good work," Rain replied. "Everyone, hold positions. We detonate on my mark." Inside the depot, a squad of drones detected a faint disturbance. Their crimson eyes glowed as they scanned the area, moving in tight formation. "They're onto us," Marcus said, his voice tight. "Stay calm," Rain ordered. "Aria, get back to the ship now." Aria activated her thrusters, narrowly evading the approaching drones. As she re-entered the airlock, the depot's defenses roared to life. Alarms blared, and the warships turned their weapons toward the structure. "They'd figured it out," Marcus said, panic creeping into his voice. "Too late for them," Rain said, her tone icy. "Eon, trigger the charges." The AI's orb pulsed once, detonating. The depot erupted in a cascade of fire and debris, the explosion ripping through the fuel tanks and sending shockwaves through space. The Council's warships, caught off guard, scrambled to respond, but the damage was done. Flames consumed the depot, and the fleet's formation descended into chaos. "Direct hit," Marcus said, a hint of awe in his voice. Rain smirked. "We're not done yet." "Marcus, disable their comms. Let's make sure they can't call for reinforcements." Marcus's fingers flew over the console, and within moments, the Council's communication network was jammed. The warships floundered, their crews struggling to coordinate amidst the confusion. "Time to go," Rain said. "Eon, plot us an exit." As Phoenix 1 shot away from the burning depot, the team watched the chaos unfold on the monitors. "This was just the beginning," Rain said, her voice resolute. "They'll come after us with everything they have. And when they do, we'll be ready." The Council's war machine had taken its first real hit, and the galaxy would soon realize that humanity was no longer a fading memory. They were a force reborn, and their fight was far from over. The turning point. The deep blue glow of a dying nebula stretched across the viewport, painting the inside of Phoenix 1 in ghostly light. Rain Vega stood at the edge of the command deck, her arms crossed tightly as she stared into the swirling abyss. Behind her, Marcus Kane and Area Solis debated fiercely, their voices rising above the hum of the ship's systems. "I'm just saying," Marcus argued, gesturing wildly. "This screams trap, a distress signal from an ancient eye, offering to help humanity. It's too convenient." Area rolled her eyes, leaning back against the wall. "And what's your alternative?" "Ignore it. That AI claims to have Earth's lost technology, things we've only dreamed of. If it's real, we can't pass this up." Marcus scoffed. "Or it could be council bait. We walk into their trap, and boom, no more humanity." Rain turned slowly, her sharp gaze cutting through the room's tension. "Enough. We don't have the luxury of playing it safe. If there's even a chance this AI can help us, we're taking it. We've come too far to stop now." Eon's holographic orb flickered to life beside her. The signal originates from a derelict station orbiting the nebula's core. Its architecture matches early Earth designs. The probability of Council interference is low, but caution is advised. Rain nodded, her decision firm. "Set a course. We'll approach under full stealth. If this AI turns out to be hostile, we deal with it. But if it's real..." She let the thought hang, the weight of hope settling over the room. The derelict station loomed in the nebula's heart, its once proud structure scarred by centuries of abandonment. Twisted metal spires jutted out like broken bones, and faint lights flickered sporadically, as if the station itself clung desperately to life. As Phoenix 1 approached, Rain's fingers tightened around the armrest of her chair. "Eon, scan the station. Anything active?" "Minimal energy readings," the AI replied. "No signs of life or council activity. The signal is coming from the central command core." "All right," Rain said, standing. "Marcus, Area, suit up. We're going in." The team stepped into the station's dim corridors, their flashlights cutting through the thick haze of dust. The air smelled of rust and decay, and every step echoed ominously. "This place feels haunted," Marcus muttered, his voice barely above a whisper. "Focus," Rain said sharply. "We're here for the AI. Keep moving." The corridor opened into a massive chamber, dominated by a towering construct of glass and metal. Suspended in the center was a glowing sphere, its surface shifting with patterns of light. "That's it," Area said, her voice filled with awe. "The source of the signal." As they approached, the sphere pulsed once, sending a ripple of energy through the room. A voice, ancient and deep, filled the chamber. "Humanity returns," it said. "After millennia, the children of Earth stand before me once more." Rain stepped forward cautiously. "Who, or what, are you?" "I am Solace," the voice replied. "An AI built to preserve the knowledge of Earth. When the Council destroyed your world, I was exiled to this station, waiting for the day humanity would rise again." Marcus exchanged a wary glance with Area. "And why are you helping us now?" The sphere's light dimmed slightly, as if expressing sorrow. "Because the Council's reach grows unchecked. They consume and destroy, just as they did with your home. But you possess the strength to challenge them. I can give you the means to do so." "Prove it," Rain demanded. The sphere pulsed again, and the chamber walls lit up with projections, blueprints, schematics, and data streams far beyond anything humanity had seen. This, Solace said, is Earth's lost technology. Ships, weapons, defenses, tools to level the playing field. But you must act quickly. The Council will not allow your rebellion to flourish. Rain studied the projections, her heart pounding. The technology was unlike anything she'd imagined. Compact, efficient, and devastatingly powerful. What's the catch? Marcus asked, his skepticism unyielding. Solace's voice grew somber. To access this knowledge, you must connect me to your systems. I will integrate with your AI and guide your efforts. But this alliance requires trust. Eon's holographic form appeared beside Rain, its light flickering uncertainly. Integration poses risks. If Solace is compromised, humanity's survival could be jeopardized. Rain hesitated, the weight of the decision pressing on her. This AI could be the turning point they desperately needed, or the end of everything they'd fought for. She looked at her team, her voice steady. We didn't come this far to walk away. Solace, you have our trust. But if you betray us, you won't live long enough to regret it. The sphere pulsed with light. Then let us begin. Back aboard Phoenix 1, Solace integrated seamlessly with the ship's systems, its voice merging with Eon's. The holographic displays were now filled with Earth's lost technology, offering new possibilities at every turn. As the team gathered on the command deck, Rain addressed them. This changes everything. The Council thinks they've seen the best of humanity. They have no idea what's coming. The nebula's glow faded behind them as the ship set its course for the next target. With Solace on their side, humanity's fight was no longer a desperate struggle. It was a war. And this time, they had the tools to win. Humanity strikes back. The Galactic Council's capital world, Zenith Prime, shone like a jewel in the heart of the galaxy. Its skies were a kaleidoscope of colors, with towering spires that stretched beyond the clouds. The Council's high tower dominated the skyline, a monolithic structure that symbolized their absolute power over countless species. For 3,000 years, it had stood unchallenged. Tonight, that would change. From the darkness of space, Phoenix 1 emerged, flanked by a fleet of Zykarn warships and smaller vessels from newly allied species. The once fragmented resistance had coalesced into an armada, each ship carrying the shared anger of generations oppressed by the Council. Inside the command deck of Phoenix 1, Captain Rain Vega stood at the helm, her gaze fixed on the holographic display of the Council's formidable planetary defenses. Solace's glowing sphere floated beside her, its voice calm yet resolute. Zenith Prime's defense grid is powered by 3 orbital stations, Solace explained. They form a triad network, creating an impenetrable shield over the capital. To breach it, the stations must be taken down simultaneously. Aria Solis leaned against her console, checking her weapon. 3 targets, 3 strike teams. This is going to be messy. Messy is an understatement, Marcus Kane added. Those stations are bristling with drones, turrets, and who knows what else. If we screw this up, it's game over. Rain's voice cut through their doubts like a blade. We don't screw this up. We've trained for this. We've bled for this. Humanity doesn't get another chance. She turned to the crew. We take down those stations, break their shield, and hit the Council where it hurts. Today, we remind them what they tried to erase. The command deck fell silent, the weight of her words settling over the team. Let's move, Rain said. This ends now. The strike teams launched in coordinated waves, each heading toward a different orbital station. The Zykarn warships provided cover, engaging the Council's defense fleet in a chaotic, brutal battle. Explosions lit up the void as ships collided, their debris scattering like falling stars. Inside her sleek assault pod, Rain led the charge on the eastern station. Her team landed amidst a hail of laser fire, their boots hitting the metallic surface with precision. Stay sharp, she barked, firing her plasma rifle at a line of drones. We clear the control room and plant the charges. No distractions. Marcus followed close behind, hacking into the station's systems as bullets and plasma bolts flew past. "This security's a nightmare," he muttered, sweat dripping down his face. "Give me a minute. You've got 30 seconds. Area snapped, taking out a turret with a well-placed shot. As Marcus worked, Solace's voice chimed through their comms. "The Council's fleet is reinforcing the western station. Team Gamma requires immediate assistance." "Noted," Rain replied. "We'll handle this and move to support." The control room's doors hissed open, revealing a squad of heavily armed Council sentries. Rain didn't hesitate. She charged forward, her team covering her as she unleashed a flurry of precise shots. "Control room secure," Area shouted. Marcus slapped an explosive charge onto the station's main console. "This baby's set to blow. Let's get out of here." The team raced back to their pod, the station trembling as alarms blared. They launched moments before the explosives detonated, the blast ripping through the structure and leaving a cascade of fire in its wake. "Eastern Station is down," Rain reported, moving to assist Gamma. Meanwhile, the Central Station was in chaos. Aboard their flagship, the Council's High Commander watched in disbelief as the Resistance dismantled their defenses. "This is impossible," the commander snarled. "Mobilize all remaining forces. Crush them before they reach the capital." But the Resistance was relentless. With Solace's guidance, their coordinated attacks dismantled the Triad network, one station at a time. The planetary shield over Zenith Prime flickered, then collapsed, leaving the capital vulnerable. Back on Phoenix 1, Rain stood before her crew, her expression fierce. "The shield is down. This is it, our final push. We take the high tower, capture the Council, and show the galaxy what humanity can do." The fleet descended upon Zenith Prime like a storm. Zykarn dropships landed in the city streets, releasing waves of soldiers who engaged the Council's ground forces. Resistance fighters from every corner of the galaxy joined the fray, their battle cries echoing through the towering spires. Inside the high tower, Rain and her team fought their way to the Council's inner sanctum. The halls were a labyrinth of traps and ambushes, but they pressed on, their resolve unshakable. They burst into the Council chamber, weapons raised. The Council members, cloaked in their ceremonial robes, stared back with a mix of fear and defiance. "This is your end," Rain said, her voice echoing in the Grand Hall. "For Earth, for humanity, for everyone you oppressed." The High Commander sneered. "You think this changes anything? The galaxy is too vast. You are but a speck." Rain stepped closer, her weapon trained on him. "A speck that just brought you to your knees." As the Council was taken into custody, the galaxy watched in awe. The Resistance had done the impossible. They had struck down the most powerful force in the galaxy. The victory was bittersweet. The cost of the war had been high, and the fight was far from over. But for the first time in 3,000 years, humanity stood tall, no longer a forgotten relic of the past. On the steps of the high tower, Rain addressed the galaxy in a broadcast that reached every corner of space. "We are humanity," she declared. "They tried to erase us, but we survived. We fought, and we will never stop fighting. The galaxy belongs to all of us, not just the powerful, but the free. This is the dawn of a new age." As the crowd roared, the stars above Zenith Prime seemed to burn brighter. Humanity had struck back, and the galaxy would never be the same.